Working on a 2002, what is this, Pontiac Grand Am. It's a 3.4 liter. If you look at the fuel pressure gauge, you look up the fuel pressure gauge on the side of the motor by the side of the intake by the power steering. This one, it's only showing about 28 psi. That's what it falls to at rest. I got really rough idle. The customer says it stinks like gas. Stinks like rich fuel to me. It smells like the catalytic converter's doing overtime. I don't smell any gas fumes. I recently replaced this fuel pressure regulator twice. The one from the factory failed around the seal on the outside here, and then the new one that I put in failed. So this is the third one that this car's had. Check engine codes. There's 4 codes. 2 of them are 300 random multiple cylinder misfire, and 2 of them are 172, which is rich bank 1. So I'll show you what they are. Just using a simple OBD2 tester. Go through and we'll read the codes. We'll let it link. Let's see what it says. I gotta have the key on, that's my trouble. There we go. You should have a lot easier time reading now. Yeah, try again. So I push yes. Now it's reading. So we've got code 172. That's one of 4. The next code is 300. The next code's 172. You see 2 rich, bank 1. System 2 rich, bank 1. And 300, like I say, multiple cylinder misfire, which is common if you've got it way too rich. So we'll go ahead and erase the codes. It says, do you want to erase them? Yes. And then it says, make sure key on, engine off, press enter. So erasing, the erase is done. So anyway, what I've found with these is it's usually a mass airflow sensor, so I staged that. You just got to loosen up the clamps on the intake hose, pull it off, pull off the boot, or pull out all those little screws, those little Torx ones. As you look at this, I'm going to put this in the light so that it shows up. When you look at these, you can see that this one's kind of a marshmallow color, this one's kind of a marshmallow color, and then this one's just covered in crap. I'm going to move it over the gray or over something so you can see it. You can't even see anything with these. There we go. You can see it now. It's just nice and dirty. So what I've done is I've taken some isopropyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and you just use that to clean it. Codes that are, now you look at that, you can see it really well. So I think that's the main thing that's making it run rich. Usually you get lean codes. You don't usually get rich codes, but whereas one of these was really dirty and the other ones were clean, you know, we might have a situation like that. But just clean them. I like to clean them all the way around, backside, front side, everything. Then that'll be ready to throw back in and rock and roll. Now the thing with this is that fuel pressure, it says idle pressure is usually up around 70. If the car's hot, after you turn it off, the pressure will generally increase. When I don't know if you can see the pressure gauge through there, but when I cycle the key, like I just hit the fuel pump, it went clear up to 60, and now it's dropping back down. It'll drop down to 28. It's at 38 now. So when the engine's running, it's at 59 psi, and that's right where it needs to be. As soon as I get out here, it kicks back down. But anyway, I've got fuel pressure, but it's not holding. It might be something to do with the fuel sending unit. It could be something, I don't think it'd be anything with the fuel pressure regulator. This operates based on vacuum, and when the engine's not running, it shouldn't make a big difference anyway. It should be held at the fuel pump. So do a little bit more testing. I'll throw the mass airflow sensor back in and see how it runs now. Okay, so I've cleared the check engine light. It's off now. and it's idling good. It was loping up and down erratically between 200 RPMs and 1100. Now it's sitting pretty even at 1100. After having cleaned out the mass airflow sensor, it seems to be doing a lot better. You can see the running pressure on the fuel gauge is about 58, 59 PSI. That's right where it needs to be. It was really hard to start. Hard starting on these. It's oftentimes just because the spark plugs are old. But just have to look into it and see what else comes along. Alright, so I ran the car again and the fuel pressure was up. Check engine light came back on, ran a multiple cylinder misfire. I checked the fuel pressure regulator, and I don't know if you can see this because it's not real good for detail, but the vacuum line, oh, you saw that. See all that wetness that just wicked up that? See this elbow, it's perfectly dry. Watch me stick it on there. You see all that wetness just go for it. Basically what's happening is this brand new fuel pressure regulator that I just warrantied out is leaking, and it's leaking right up through the nipple. So the vacuum, look at that, made in the USA. Isn't that nice? That pisses me off. Basically what's happening is the vehicle is sucking fuel in through this vacuum line that's supposed to regulate the diaphragm up or down. It's shooting fuel straight in there, so you're getting extra fuel. This is like basically an extra thing of fuel going into the intake manifold. I'm about to put the 4th fuel pressure regulator into this car. I'm not thrilled about that. Customer's frustrated. He's pissed at me and wants me to just cover it. And so I'm just like, well, dude, you got to put a good quality part in there. And so he's like, well, I already paid for one, let's warranty it out. Long story short, this is just becoming a headache. I'm not going to use another fuel injector or fuel pressure regulator that's aftermarket. I'm going to get one that's made somewhere else that's a good quality aftermarket one, because those ones suck. Don't do one from the dealer, that's all I've got to say.